Talk, and this is the breaking news for Hala segment. And today on breaking news, we have a hot spicy gist. As usual, we know we follow the Breakfast TV show, which has been discussing a lot of LGBTQI topics. And recently they talked about homosexuality in boarding school. And we're going to be talking about my boarding school house experience. So a particular guy sent me his boarding school experience, his gay boarding school experience. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Even Chimireze is not aware of this. I caught him by surprise. So we'll talk about that. And we're just going to talk about the entire show, some things that were said on the show.
So guys, take me by surprise these days. So I'm not surprised.
So you guys just take so for you guys that don't know what we're talking about, just watch some of the clips from the TV show that they said about the boarding school, the gay experience in boarding school, before we dive into the topic and give our opinions. Please, guys, watch.
Thanks for staying with us. So we started a conversation concerning boarding schools, and the businessman Wale Jana advised parents against sending their children to either only boys or only girls school, or generally boarding schools. According to him, he was sharing a story of how a senior in an all-boys school at the time allegedly sexually assaulted him constantly, and also assaulted junior boys. Yes, let me correct that. So allegedly sexually assaulted junior boys. In his opinion, attending same-sex schools can cause more damage than good. And furthermore, many have also said that sending your children to boarding houses is no longer the best option. You'd rather have your children stay at home because of all the various vices that we're seeing today. Now, our question, therefore, is, do you agree that it is it's the values we're exposed to in boarding houses can still be achieved in today's times? Or do you think times have changed? Keep your children in the house. What are your thoughts?
So now that we're back, as usual, my name is Marvelous Achafu Kelechi, and I have Chimireze Henry in our Toronto studios in Canada. How are you doing, Chimireze?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing, Mr. Achafu?
I'm fine, thank you. So just moving into this topic, what did you feel? You watched that episode. What would you like to say about the episode briefly? Or do you have anybody or do you know any gay experience in boarding school? Have you heard about experience? Or do you believe that boarding school can actually affect a person's sexual orientation?
Honestly, I don't think so. I feel sexual orientation is not something you teach or something you copy. It's in your DNA. That's the reality, because like at the end of the whole day, when it comes to, lower animals, do they get to be in boarding house for them to be gay, gay horses or gay, or animals? So I feel it's in the DNA. People who are heterosexual or bisexual or homosexual, it's already down straight to their DNA. So yeah, boarding school only help enhance what you already have. It's just like when you drink or when you smoke weed, people that are already angry, the liquor only brings out the anger in you because you're already a very hot tempered person, so it just multiplies it. So that's what boarding school does. What boarding school just multiplies what you already have.
Thank you very much for that. So for me, people know me now. I do not believe in that rigmarole, that trash that they said on this thing, trying to say, but the school will train up your child, they would make your child influence your child's sexuality. So I went all about and I asked six different people, that please give me your idea, people that went to boarding school. So how was your boarding school experience, and do you believe that boarding school can change sexuality? Then let me start with Ade. Ade told me that yes, that is going to agree, because in school there were so many people said that they used to that the seniors would tell juniors to suck their dicks, and it was a kind of like a molestation game for them to suck them and play with them, nipple plays and all form of this thing. And many of them became deviate their sexuality towards that period. That he, on the other hand, he happens to be very, very big. So he fought with the seniors that tried to make him do it. He fought with them. And that's why he could not fall into the trap of this homosexuality. So he agrees that homosexuality and boarding school plays a huge part. They initiate them. Now, Chooks on the other hand disagrees.
So should we take the fact that this Ade is straight?
Should we take?
Is Ade straight then?
Yeah, I just said it straight. Said it as straight as it. I went I asked different people for their opinion, not LGBTQI, but different people for their opinion. So I asked Chooks, who's an LGBTQI member, and I asked him if he even, and he said no. He said to even be surprised, he went to a boarding school that was very strict, a religious boarding school. He doesn't want the name mentioned, so they don't trace it back to him. He said he went to a religious boarding school, so they don't have the time to mix. And he's not practiced any of these things. He never touched anyone. You could not even have you dare not even have the courage to try it with anybody, because if you try it, you get expelled and disgraced, called in the assembly ground, expelled and disgraced. So he said they could not exploit it to anybody. He said that's one of the even regrets I have. They explored the sexuality at a late period of time. So he said nothing influenced it in any way. Nobody molested him. Nobody touched him. And that is true on the other hand. Now, moving on to Mary, I finally got a lesbian. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Finally got a lesbian to speak to me who went to a all-girls boarding school too. And she told me that no, it does not affect it did never affect her what's the word, her sexuality. That even when she was in school, she was like the bully of the school. She doesn't want anybody to go towards that. She was saying yes, she had that sexuality, but she was doing everything to deny it. That was not what she was focused on. She was more about being the tomboy, bullying people, being the one in charge, just having she was not even interactive with people. She was like a loner on her own. Anybody that give it to her, she'll give it to the person back. She didn't have time to mingle with people. And now we'll move on to Femi. So Femi also disagrees that no, that it does not, but the school has nothing to do with sexuality. That he, on the other hand, it did not play any role in becoming, because an LGBTQI member too. He said, but the school never played a role in having to build the sexuality, that having to do anything with sexuality. Now moving on to James too. James is an LGBTQI member, and he says that he would agree partially that it kind of has something to do with um, forming your sexuality, because it says that there you have like all these school mothers, school fathers who end up like teaching you what to do, like the role models I look up to, and before you know, they might kind of push you into this way, or kind of pimp you to other school children. And some of them pimp people to other. I'm using people survey, and they pimp you to other school children. They pass you around, like, oh, meet this person, meet that person. They give you, even share you to their friends. This is James, who's an LGBTQI member, that it happens. And Felix, lastly, who's an LGBTQI member also, Felix has said that no, it does not have anything to do with their mindset. That he, on the other hand, he does not even know of the word, doesn't know that the word existed, because he said during that time, Felix is a 42-year-old man. To write that down, is the oldest person I had, so I had to use his own experience. He said during that time they did not even know of the word. That it was like a blank space. Everybody was it was like an open book. Nobody knew about that word. Nobody knew anything. This and this. So Chimeries have had different people. Now you can see 6 people, 6 different opinions, 6 different methods. Now, me on the other hand, I would like to say everybody, no matter how much you call, I just want to break down something to people that I just went to 6 people. Imagine I take the survey down further. People will have different, people will be for and against. But the main fact or the main thing still boils down to there will be people with that sense. There are some people that are born as a gay person, people born as a lesbian, people born as a bisexual, people born as a, this is who they are, whether we like it or not. It does not determine what they become. Now, some people might have this sexuality and may end up being maybe abused or molested or go through molestation. That does not mean that defined who they are. I think that's the thing I'm trying to be. That does not mean, because I'm a stand that was having logical conversation. That does not mean that it defined who they are. And for somebody coming on air saying trash, trying to make it look as if, oh, if you don't train up your children, these people will help you train them. No, for crying out loud, we don't train people. We are not nannies. The LGBTI community members were not nannies that train people. So people should not try and just bring up jokes, bring up comedy, and just try and make it look as if we don't train children. We are not nannies. So Chimeze, moving on to, is there something I'd like to say finally?
Yeah, the whole thing about boarding school experience and trying to raise children up. It's just that I just feel some parents are just lazy or just naturally bad parents. They expect, okay, we have a stubborn child, we'll just push him or her to boarding school so that we'll get a break and
They just dump the child to the boarding
a
school to
break
help them train it.
from our duties. I feel like as a good parent, you should never ship your child to boarding school. And if you ship your child to boarding school, I feel you should be there during all their visiting days. You should be there. You should be there calling them. You should pick them when school are over. There are some children Even when school is over, the semester is ended, they still end up staying with these house masters and house mistresses even after school has, dismissed for the semester. It shows you the kind of parenting that child is getting from home. Secondly, again, most parents need to try to settle their home. In other words, you need to make your home a home, not a house. There are some kids that are growing up in a very terrible environment. Dad is not there, mom is not there, and when they go into boarding school, they carry the same attitude of the frustration from their home, and they transfer it to other kids who are being raised in good, friendly, peaceful home. How can we, examine or analyze this? When you go to some boarding school, you will see the words some kids say. You will see the way some kids treat certain situations, tells you the kind of homes they come from. And they transfer this anger to other innocent kids who are growing up. So I feel instead of looking at boarding school as a result for homosexuality, I feel we should look at boarding school as a result for molestation and abuse. That should be the key word here. Boarding house bring about molestation, brings about abuse, brings about low self-esteem, and most kids who are in boarding school, because they've gone through that
I
boarding
like the
school.
point. I like the way you put it now. Like molestation and abuse is different from homosexuality. Anybody
Yes,
can be an
molestation and
abuser.
abuse is
Anybody
different
can
from
be an abuser. Exactly. A straight
homosexuality.
person, a gay person, anybody can be an abuser. But that does not mean that the person is trying to initiate it. Because when you watch the breakfast show, it was trying to look as if they
No,
initiate with
it's not
homosexuality.
an
No.
initiation done to the child. No, that is the boarding school does not. Boarding school is not an occult. It's just a hostel filled with. But I went to boarding school. I had experiences from boarding school. I don't like using myself because it looks like everything that happens, something happens to me. But I went to boarding school. I went to Brainfield Secondary School. Boarding school, and in Brainfield Secondary School, yes, I was square. Yes, I was still open about it. And even those who went to Brainfield with me will know, oh yes, this Chimeresin are homo, whatever. But even in boarding school, I was so molested that one event that I've never left my head was when I was in SS1. I went to the washroom to take a shower. And when I went to the washroom to take a shower, there is this guy that was in class. His name was Stone Cold. We call him Stone Cold because he had all the muscles and everything. He asked for a bucket of water because early in the morning, you go to the kitchen, you fetch
Stone
hot
Cold.
water, and you come to the washroom and you mix it, because like me, when growing up, I never took cold showers because of the kind of body I have, because I always had
Wait, you
cold.
went to a boarding school?
Yes, I went to a boarding school.
So did you practice anything?
Then we had blowjobs, and yeah, we had blowjobs, and that was all we could do because we were in boarding house, right? So I will go in the morning, pick up the water, and I will shower. On this certain day, I went with one of my friend then, and we got this bucket of water, right, from the shower. It's a long queue, so nobody likes to go there. And then when I came back to the shower to take my shower, right, this guy was like, "Oh, give me your hot water." I was like, "No." This guy was a big bully, and then he pushed me. I slipped and I cut my right foot, and it swole, and I missed the whole of SS2. I missed the whole of SS2, half of SS1, and I had to go to SS3 even wearing slippers. So there is a lot of molestations that happen in boarding school. Yes, homosexuality happens in boarding school. That I will not that, or sexual or sexual sexual, what is it called, sexual practice,
Molestation.
that not
Yeah.
sexual molestation, because I wasn't
Oh,
molested.
sexual part. Like
I wasn't
sexual
molested in
practice.
I wasn't molested in boarding school. I wanted to have sex because I wanted to have sex. People get horny. These are teenagers who have things in between their legs. You are always going to look for a way to, release yourself, right? So at the end of the whole day,
Why?
yes, sexual orientation or sexual pleasure happens in school, but at the same time, it is not a result of molestation. I went to a mixed boarding school, and even in the mixed boarding school I went to, there were boys having sex with girls in the bushes, having peeping through girls' hostels, doing things. So yes, sexual urges will come in the boarding house, but boarding school is not the result of your child being a homosexual. Your child is a homosexual because he is born that way. Your child has it in his DNA.
Mm. And that's been a good topic. We can go on and on. So you guys drop a comment below if you went to boarding school or you went to this school, especially those that went to boarding school. Would like to hear from you. So did you practice this thing? Did you have any sexual intercourse or sexual practice in school? Do you feel like boarding school influences a child's or a teenager's sexual orientation? Or even university, some people say even university too could affect your sexual orientation. And some people go as far as discovering their sexuality or exploring sexualities in university, that maybe they've been bicurious for a long time, and university
I
or
just feel people should stop looking for excuses. Take responsibility for who you are. Appreciate who you are. Stop looking. This is why. This is why. You are who you are because you are made that way. Period. You're getting.
because
So many people have been raped. So many people have been raped, but till today they don't have gay sex. Are you getting my
mm,
point? So many people have been raped. Till today, they still have heterosexual sex. So many people
mm,
have been raped, straight ways, and they still have queer sex. So I feel you should study science. Science is the answer for sexuality, not
mm.
looking for faults and blames.
Thank you very much. And that's been our offering on Cubo Talk Breaking News Wahala for this segment. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Click the subscribe button, please. Don't forget to like and share our videos. Till next episode, you guys know we love you so much. Till next episode, see you guys later. Peace out.